more stimulus and stimulus checks with a recession. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video. Let's get into it and talk through the details. All right, now this is a topic that I get questions about literally every single day down below in the comment section in regards to stimulus, especially those people that are low income or fixed income beneficiaries, which is the majority of the people here on the channel that watch these videos, and I don't blame you whatsoever. It has been very rough the last few years here financially for most people as prices continue to rise, and guess what wages and incomes are doing? Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. They're not keeping up at all, not even close to the cost of living. Well, this is where the whole discussion of stimulus comes in, and why I get these questions all the time, especially again from the low income, fixed income beneficiaries here in the community, asking when are we going to get it, who's going to be included, how much is it going to be, and all these details like this. I've also had some questions coming in with people asking about, hey, can you elaborate about this whole stimulus check talk and in regards to a recession? Exactly. Well, that's what I want to talk about, because as we speak right now, we are in a very precarious situation and becoming very reminiscent of massive stimulus like what we've seen over the last few years here. Now, what does it all come down to? You've heard me say this before in other videos. The economy. That's what it's all about every single time. It does not matter how much we call them, how many times we send out emails, how many letters we write, how many videos we make, how many times we ask them, we beg to them, we plead, we basically say, hey, what does it take to get some type of financial relief right now? It's not about that. It's about the economy. I know that it sounds weird, like, well, that's not very humane. Yeah, I agree. But that's really what it comes down to. And that's what they are concerned about. But like I said a minute ago, we're in a very precarious situation right now with everything that's happening and all of the warning signs and all of the different economic data points that have been coming out recently. We're basically pointing at a big old bad recession coming in, and like a big bad storm on the horizon. These warning signs have been out there for a very long time, and they continue to compound. Now, here's the thing as well. Generally, a lot of the times, what happens is that we see a lot of these compounding issues coming in time and time again, month over month over month. It usually takes a while. And then all of a sudden, like an avalanche, everything's fine, right? Mountain looks good, very pretty with snow all over it. Everything looks fine, no big deal whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, you get a little bit of a trigger, whatever that happens to be, and then boom, there goes the avalanche, there goes the economy. Same situation here, right? You see all of the evidence piling up, like we've been seeing for several months now, and then all of a sudden, one little catalyst, one little bad report comes in, and then whack, there goes down the economy, and everything goes down with it, right? Kind of the same situation that we're dealing with right now. So basically what I want to talk about here is that yes, the distribution of stimulus, the distribution of stimulus checks, the distribution of stimulus packages, the creation of whatever you want to call it is all predicated on the economy. Now, here's the thing. You've heard me say that so many times before in other videos. But over the last several months here, what have we been seeing? Well, here's the thing. For the last several years now, basically, 3 years now, since the Federal Reserve started raising interest rates aggressively back in March of 2022, we've seen very high interest rates. Well, I've been saying this for years now. These high interest rates that the Federal Reserve has been keeping very elevated is contracting on the economy. It's not good for overall everybody. You and me, the consumers, businesses, small, medium, and large, the economy as a whole. It's not good. These long-term interest rates that are very high like this cannot be very elevated for very long. It's not sustainable very long. Okay, short term, yeah, it's fine. Short term. But pushing 3 years now, that's not really a good thing when it comes down to the overall economy, because with these high interest rates like this, it makes the cost of borrowing very, very expensive. And that's the point. The point of raising interest rates is to keep borrowing costs very high. In other words, we borrow less money, we spend less money, then we have to pay a very high interest rate on it. And that's the whole idea behind it, because when we're spending less money, we're driving less inflation, less demand for goods and services. That simply means less demand means less or lower prices and less inflation, if that kind of makes sense. That's the whole reason that they did this in the first place. But they've been keeping these interest rates too high for too long. What the problem is that we're starting to see this really cracking in the economy, and we're seeing a lot of these economic data points coming in, basically pointing toward, hey, warning sign, everybody, we're basically on the cusp of a massive recession. Now, here's the thing. I've said this before in other videos, and again, I'm going to say it again, which is, whether we are or we're not in a recession, does it feel like one? That's what matters. If it feels like one, we're basically headed there anyway, because these things are a lot of times self-fulfilling. When we feel like we're in a recession and we feel like our money is very tight, and we feel like, hey, it's really tough financially, simply what that means is that, hey, we usually cut back on spending. Everybody does this across the board. And when people do that, that's when we see the self-fulfilled prophecy come in and the whole recession hit. But here's the thing as well that I want to point out. And again, I've had so many people reach out down below in the comment section asking, hey, when's this going to happen? When are we going to get the check? When are we going to see some type of financial relief? Whatever it happens to be. Remember, it's always based on the economy. But when you see the recession hit, watch lawmakers scramble and they pass multi-trillion-dollar packages relatively fast, and then we get checks relatively quickly after that. In fact, let me give you a quick little example. This is a real thing that actually happened. Think back to 2020. What was happening? Early portion of the year. January? Fine. February? Fine. Kind of getting a little bit weird kind of toward the end of February, right? Things were closing down. They were canceling all kinds of events and saying, nah, let's not do that. That was kind of weird in February. And then March rolled around. What'd they say? Stay home. Don't do anything. Wear your pajamas all day. Watch a bunch of movies. Do whatever you got to do, but don't move. Just stay at home. That's all you got to do, right? This is, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but not too much. That's basically what happened. The whole global economy, the United States, everything was basically closed down, and we were basically told to stay at home for like a month or two or whatever it happened to be, right? And then in March, we got the multi-trillion-dollar, $2.3 trillion CARES Act. Look it up if you don't believe me, it happened. This was the first major stimulus package that we got during that time, $2.3 trillion, and it contained a $1,200 stimulus check that went out to people in early April. So like literally a month afterward. It took about not even a month. It took a couple weeks to pass it from the time that they conceived of the package until the time that they passed it through, until the time that we got checks in our bank accounts was about a month's time at most is how long it took them to do start to finish money in our bank accounts. My point is, it happens very quickly. We're basically in the point right now where we're pretty much entering a recession, okay? I know there's a lot of people out there that say, oh no, the economy's booming and things like that. Here's the thing, it depends on what you look at. If you look at a lot of the economic data points, you're right, looks like a lot of things are really good still. Why? Because they're lagging. Remember, I come back in these videos and we look at data points like the jobs report, right? That's a lagging indicator. It's lagging. It shows us jobs that were lost or created along with revisions over the last 1, 2, and 3 months. That's not a leading indicator. That's looking back in time. We already know that. What about the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, inflation reports? Again, lagging. Why? We're looking back weeks, several weeks to the previous month as far as what inflation has been doing, okay? There's all these different indicators that we look at. Another thing, too, we have to look at as well. Look at the stock market. Now, again, I know that a lot of you here in the community may not watch the market very closely, and that's okay. No problem whatsoever. But my point is, generally, the stock market leads the economy. If you want to know what the economy is going to do, just watch the stock market. When you see the stock market selling off and you see a lot of skepticism and a lot of volatility in the market, it means a lot of indecision. A lot of people that don't know where to hedge their money or where to put their money right now because there's not really any good bets out there, right? So again, there's all these different indicators. And I could sit here and go on and on and on. All of these different indicators coming in. Even the Federal Reserve in some of their rhetoric lately, out of the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, basically making it very clear that, yeah, the labor market is softening. It's getting pretty bad in the labor market, and we're going to continue cutting interest rates to hopefully make some, bring some stability into the labor market. Not a good thing. In my opinion, like I've said before in other videos, in my opinion, the most important economic data point that we need to watch, and again, there's a bunch of them out there, but one of them is the labor market, the non-farm payroll number or the jobs report that we get out once per month the first Friday of every month. We get that out, and it shows how many jobs were created or lost the previous month, the unemployment rate, the labor participation rate, the average hourly earnings, and revisions to the last couple months as far as did they miscount, too high, too low, what happened to be there. So that's what I'm talking about, okay? So that's what I just want to bring to your attention again to kind of clarify some of those questions I've been talking about, which is just watch, okay? Just watch the economy, or do this. Don't even watch the economy. I will do that. I'm watching it literally every single day anyway, and I will keep you posted here in these videos. But all we need to know is that when we enter a major recession, a major contraction, that's when the money is printed. That's when the money is sent out. Because the whole point of stimulus, remember, is not to help us, but rather to stimulate the economy, and they use us as a proxy to do that. I know that sounds super weird, but that's the reality. They use us, and again, I'm going to say this much. Hey, if they want to give me money, by all means, use me all you want. Give me all the money and I'll gladly spend it as much as you want me to, right? So in this case, I don't mind getting a little bit used sometimes when they want to use us to give us money to put it into the economy by buying goods and services. Not a problem. Please feel free to send as much as you want. I'll gladly spend it. No problem here. Just, I think everybody else here in the community will probably feel the same way. No problem. We'll stimulate the economy. Just keep giving us money. We'll keep spending it. No problem. No problem whatsoever. We will gladly take on that task. I think a lot of us agree with that. So anyway, that's what it comes down to. Does that help a little bit? I hope this helps and clarifies things for those of you that have been asking questions and wondering the whole situation down below, when we're going to get it, how much is it going to be, who's going to get it, all those details like that. I hope this clarifies it. Anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. As I say all the time, here to represent you, to advocate on your behalf. Please, can I ask a huge favor of you? If you have not done so, if you're new here, please subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. Big subscribe button waiting for you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being part of this community. Thank you so much for being here. Also, if you have not done so, feel free to share this video. There's a share button down below. If you can think of 1 or 2 people that benefit from this information here in this video or any of the other well over 5,000 videos here on the channel, feel free to share this video or the other videos here on the channel. Again, thank you so much. Feel free to like the video. Thumbs up button down below. Feel free to check out the other videos here, like I said, on the channel, or the popular videos that I've hand selected for you down below in the description or the top of the comment section. Some popular videos there, or right now showing up on your screen as well. You'll see some videos there as well. Enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again.